Alright guys, so we kind of got a lot to talk about today. Eric Bentley, who is the voice actor for Barret, of course, went on a tweeting spree over the past 24 hours, and it seems like something's happening for at least Tokyo Game Show. I don't know about Gamescom yet, we have no confirmation yet. But he definitely said that he was in the booth recording lines for Tokyo Game Show. Before we hop into it, shout out to Samantha Blanks for hooking me up with this information, because honestly, if she didn't, this would have went under my radar. So let's just start with the Tokyo Game Show thing. Foxy Wagon tweets at him and says, "It must be absolutely insane to play such an iconic character. FF7 was such a huge part of my and many others' childhoods. Thank you for interacting with fans." And he replies, "Oh Foxy, brother, it is overwhelming at times how excited I get in the booth. I was just there today recording for the Tokyo Game Show and had to pinch myself. I walked in and my director Kirk and sound supervisor Justin were like, 'Congrats on your first FF7 con.' Wow." For starters, a lot of people have put emphasis on the fact that his voice director might be Kirk Thornton, and I'm not knocking the guy, I just didn't know who that was, had to look him up on Wikipedia. He's done a ton of stuff. He's been in a ton of popular anime, Naruto, Digimon, Bleach, One Punch Man, Sword Art Online, done a lot of video game stuff too. He's been in Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. He's done a lot of stuff. I don't know why it's a big deal that he'd be the voice director. I don't know why people are putting emphasis on it. Maybe he's just like a huge voice actor that I'm just not aware of. But the main thing, of course, is that as of August 12th, John Bentley said he was in the studio recording lines as Barret for Tokyo Game Show, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why he'd be recording specifically for that event. I feel like the voice acting would already be done for the game, and they should still be finishing it up, polishing it up. But maybe there's some extra lines they want to record. Maybe he's recording lines specifically for whatever they're going to show at Tokyo Game Show. I don't know. But from this, we also get the confirmation that apparently the game's going to be at Tokyo Game Show, and that's what's kind of weird is would there not be an NDA for this? Should he be talking about this stuff on Twitter? Because it seems kind of odd that he's out here on Twitter saying, "I'm recording lines for Barret for Tokyo Game Show." We don't even know that they're going to be at Tokyo Game Show yet. It's almost like given that they will be, but Square Enix themselves have not officially announced that. Because either he's on Twitter right now breaking an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, talking about things for the game that he's not supposed to be, or there was a previous NDA that's no longer there, or maybe he's just allowed to talk about it. I don't know. This one I found kind of interesting as well. This person tweets at Eric Bentley and says, "Congratulations, I think you're going to do a fantastic job as Barret. Your loud-speaking voice is exactly how I imagined Barret sounding like when I played Final Fantasy VII. I never finished the game, though, but your performance was exactly how I imagined Barret sounding." To which he replies, "Thank you, Eric. There's nothing soft-spoken about Barret's character, but believe it or not, with this reboot, we found some great moments to show a lot of sides." For starters, I agree with the guy that tweeted at him. It's something I've said on my channel, a lot of other people have said. His interpretation of Barret Wallace is exactly how a lot of us envisioned him, and it's actually as accurate as possible. This is how he's supposed to sound. He's supposed to be a Mr. T interpretation. I know there's people out there that are offended by his voice and think it's racist or stereotypical or whatever, but this is literally how Barret is supposed to sound, and John Bentley's doing a great job. But something I like is that he touched on the fact that they're going to show a bunch of different sides to Barret, because obviously Barret is loud-spoken and crazy, but there's a lot of tragic history to Barret, with Mount Corel, Shinra, thinking his best friend died, losing his hand, Marlene, wanting to save the planet. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Barret, and when it comes to the original game, while there are obviously tragic moments in the original game that we felt back then, even so, you don't know what you're supposed to feel whenever you have to read a text box all the time, right? You don't know exactly how you're supposed to feel in all the moments, and that's why I think the remake is going to be nice. I'm never going to say the remake's going to top the original, but having voice acting is really going to help us with those emotional moments. We also have this tweet of just Barret cursing on the train, to which he replies, "Oh man, I can't wait for you to see this scene in the remake. Even I had to stop and sit back to take it all in, especially the artwork." We already have a really quick clip of Cloud walking on a train. I don't know if it's the same scene or not, but it does look a lot better than the original, obviously. I think it looks great. You also have this one right here. I'm not sure what the original tweet was, but his reply is, "Great questions. I'm a total fanboy, and FF7 was the first RPG that made me like this style of gameplay. I played it years ago a lot, almost got through it twice. As far as the other voice talents, I'm not sure. All of our sessions thus far have been individual ones." This for me was a bit surprising and upsetting a little bit. I don't know how common this is in voiceover work, but so far they've recorded all their dialogue and lines separate from each other. So they haven't been in the same room, the same booth recording lines. So when Barret and Cloud are talking, the voice actors have never been in the same room. So when you have intense moments of Cloud and Barret button heads, the banter back and forth during combat, or you have the emotional moments of Tifa and Cloud talking, that's just them separate recording. It's odd to me because I feel like you'd want them in the same room recording voiceover work so they could kind of bounce off of each other's emotions. Don't get me wrong, everything we've heard so far sounds absolutely fantastic, and maybe that's a credit to how good they are at voice acting that I couldn't tell the difference. It was just surprising to me to read that. Kind of a quick side note, this video was supposed to be out yesterday, but in the process of recording, my internet just messed up, and it did not get fixed until 10 o'clock at night, so I wasn't able to finish the video. But the upside to this is that I'm able to actually update this story today. So some of the tweets we looked at in this video have actually been deleted since yesterday, like the one where he talks about recording lines for Tokyo Game Show, Kirk Thornton being his director or whatever. Like, that tweet has been deleted since yesterday, which I think is something I talked about earlier in this video, where I mentioned, like, should he be talking about that? Because Square Enix themselves have not even mentioned Tokyo Game Show yet, and here we have one of the voice actors for Barret saying, yeah, I'm recording lines for that event. This is actually something I mentioned in a video around E3. I went through like all the the new voice actors or whatever, and I said it's worth following them on Twitter because voice actors reply to people on Twitter, and you just never know what kind of information they're going to leak. And it took a while. It's about 2 months later, but we got something finally. What I do find odd, however, is they still has this retweet up as I'm recording this video, which has screenshots of those deleted tweets, including the Tokyo Game Show one. So if you had to take down that one, I don't know why this one's still up, because it still gives the exact same information. Anyways, my dudes, that's the video. We went over a lot of different things, but the main takeaway, of course, is Tokyo Game Show. Like, they're going to be there, and it sounds like they're going to have something to show us at Tokyo Game Show since he was in the booth recording stuff for that event. So with that information, what do you think we're going to see at Tokyo Game Show for FF7 Remake? And since Gamescom's coming up, do you think we're going to see anything at all, or is it just an event to show off the game? Either way, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay up to date with more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on all my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @the-David. And my Discord links, plus my networks are in the description. Into the outro. Later, guys.
That's easy enough.
Give me a smile, give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like a child. Give me serenity, or at least just peace of mind. Give me